Welcome to the Gravel Paddock, the podcast that takes you directly inside a professional gravel peloton. I'm your host, Antonin Liverset, Sports Marketing Manager. Here we bypass the fluff and talk about what actually matters: raw race tactics, pro tech setup, and the unfiltered business of modern racing. From the UCI World on Gravel Earth Series to the American Monuments of the Lifetime Grand Prix, the race starts here. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome to the episode 11 of the Gravel Paddock. Today we are looking at the business structure and future of one of the biggest races in the world. Gerard Freixes, CEO of Classmark, the company behind the Traka and the Gravel Earth Series, recently announced our guest as the new race director for the Traka and maybe other races. He's an active provider for the Buff BH team, and now he's taking the steering wheel in Girona. Welcome to the pod, Hans Becking. So Hans, for the ones who don't know you yet, where you're coming from, could you tell us your story, how you arrived in the gravel world, and what are you doing right now?
Well, my name is Hans Becking. I'm a Dutch guy, 40 years old. I live in the Girona area. I basically been mountain biking since I've been 15 years old. Then slowly the gravel came up, and I was directly very interested in the mix of road riders, mountain bikers, gravel riders itself. I've been continuing for many years, having a lot of fun on the bike. 40 years old, and life continues. So I need to find another way. Now I put my head, I dive directly in to become race director of Traka and Santa Val and try to understand both sides of the world, of being a rider and being an organizer.
Yeah, so you have a good overview now of what is happening during the race, because you used to race those. Now you will discover the other side, the organization, even if I'm pretty sure you already know a few things about it. But yeah, we will dive into the feedback of the 2026 edition, because it's important to understand what will and could evolve also in the coming years. So could you give us your point of view on the last edition? The event is growing year after year and has entered now, along with Sunbound, the club of races that if you win those, it could change your career and your life, basically. So at least for elite races. So it became a massive gravel fair, but it must also be really tricky to manage. So on your side as a pro rider in 2026, who finished 25th of the Traka, what was your feedback about the event globally?
Well, in general, for me, the Traka is, especially now that I live here, you breathe the Traka. You go to a coffee place, the people speak about Traka. My friends that I didn't see for 10 years, they said me, Hans, you're gonna do the Traka, and I see you again. I'm always blown away by the atmosphere around the race. Having so many people there, the same passion, it's just something that Glassmark created over many, many years, and it's been really amazing. In Dutch, we have the saying that tall trees, they catch a lot of wind, in which I want to say that if things grow really fast, the responsibility grows with it. Uh, and what I see from inside the race as a rider, you have a different perspective. I'm not gonna go into details. I think many people discuss it. I speak also with my follow races, and instead of complaining about it, I have actually now the chance to make it better, to speak with the riders. Also, I don't want to defend. I don't want to be in the middle of the two worlds. I also want to make it clear to the riders how things work and what's possible and what's not possible, and what also should be managed by the riders and what should be possible managed by the organization. So to go to back to your question, to my personal experience, I really enjoyed it. I really loved the route. I must say we had a really, for me, I did it I think 3 or 4 times, and I think this year for me I did the 200. I'm not not like the 360 or 320 for me was a bit too much. Yeah, for me it was mainly positive. The only thing that I say is that we're growing so fast, and there are some things that we need to update. So yeah, that's where I stand.
So let's talk about a hot topic around the race, but it's important to debrief it because it's one of the main thing we've heard after the race. So it's safety on course, and it's a growing sport issue. It's not only for the tracker, only for gravel races. We've seen it happening a lot in the trail running races. Every sport which is growing fast need to deal at some point with safety, because you have more people on course, you have elite with a level going higher and higher every year, going faster and faster. So it's a major issue. But after the Traka 2026 and several other major races this season, race safety become a massive topic of debate in the peloton, and some riders have been vocal about few sections that could be dangerous, organizational blind spot, when you don't really know if it's safe or not. So where do you draw the line between technical, challenging gravel courses and unnecessary danger?
Well, it's a big topic. I try to explain it as good as possible, and I can now say that we're gonna send 40 ambulances, and we do all kind of measurements. I don't think the matter of safety is something where you have to really pinpoint many small things to do it well. So response times, which part is dangerous, which part we should not put in the track. But for me as race director, I think it's very important that I personally I will go do the course. What I can promise is I will do the course. I will do it at race speed. And I know a lot of sections, and I think it's also something I can add to the event, that I can say, oh, this downhill is actually quite dangerous, or we should make another line, or we should have put an ambulance here. That's something I really can value, and I'm gonna put a lot of time in that. But I think there's a big difference between Traka is never gonna be easy. Traka is Traka. We have the terrain here that is hard, that is it can be affected super fast by changing weather conditions. If we look to Santa Fe last year, for example, as I understand the whole situation now with legal permits, and I don't want to go into the less exciting stuff, but there's a lot more into play than people think. What we can do as an organization, what we should do, what is the responsibility, and me as a race director, we should avoid unnecessary dangerous sections or confusing start boxes, bad signing, bad GPX. This kind of stuff we should try to avoid as much as possible. We cannot avoid the part that if there's a dangerous downhill and one rider wants to pass 5 riders inside line and decide not to brake, and it's a discussion, and I understand the critic at some part that people are used to smooth gravel somewhere else, and then they got this rocky downhill here that just been from the floods. There are rocks everywhere, and they have a flat tire, and they say it's dangerous. This is a very thin line that I also try to learn. I'm learning a lot about it now for what's possible, what's not possible, and we can manage the avoidable risks. Let's put it this way: we try to have them as low as possible. We put a lot of, like, especially after last year, a lot of effort and a lot of work putting into it to make the race safe as possible. Also, that's why we can discuss that later. Why we do the pro category. We have one race to secure maximum safety for that race, and then take it a bit lighter on the rest of the race. That doesn't mean that any safety is going to be. So yeah, I think that's basically the most important, to just eliminate avoidable risk. Be very clear to, like, inspect the course better, and then there's also the responsibility of the riders to brake before a downhill or to risk it all, and then so it's always a thin line. But for sure, what I can say is that the Traka is never going to be easy. If you come to the Traka or Santaval or the area around here, we can ride on the road all day, but we are the Traka.
That's why it's one of the most renowned gravel races in the world, because it's tough, and you need to train to be able to finish it. For age groupers and for elites, it's a lot of challenge can happen on the course and during the race. So that's why we all love this race too.
I think also is a reason why many professional athletes live in this area, because it's so challenging, and it's push your father to train, to get the technical skills and to have the different type of terrain.
So we've seen also races elsewhere struggle with emergency services being overwhelmed by different issues, or the climate, the courses, the lack of ambulance, the lack of firefighter. We've seen few Ironman being cancelled in France because of lack of emergency service, and so it will happen in the future because the condition will get tougher and tougher. We all know this. So is there a concrete plan to upgrade the medical and safety protocol on the course for the upcoming edition of the Traka? And also, I think something really important is to communicate about this, because if you do the upgrade but the riders don't know about this, they will be worried.
Yeah. Actually, about this topic, last week I had a meeting with Johan, who works in Classmark, to explain me everything, how we manage during an event, the ambulance, where they go, where we have medicals, this kind of stuff. We're working on this plan right now, so I cannot tell you exactly how we're gonna solve it for next year. When we have this info, I will be happy to share. But at the moment, like I said, what I can promise, I know the responsibility. I know also the parts in Girona where it's more difficult to access. We really try to focus on that, and also from last year, we really try to learn from that, because last year there's a lot of always not critics, but there are a lot of points we can improve on, and some are set out of emotions directly after the finish line. But we have to take all of them very serious, and we really note them. We are really aware of. Also, we have a good overview of it. Yeah, we're doing really our best to make it as best as possible. But a concrete plan, I cannot confirm at the moment. I can confirm you later when it's finished.
Okay, great to know that you're working on it, and it's a tough work, but needed work too.
Yeah, well, it's very important. Like I said, if I go training with my friends, I will take the downhill that we're gonna plan in the course faster, and then we can see, oh, this tree is dangerous. That we have to put the pillow there of after this downhill. It's more possibility to crash. So that we're trying really to work close.
Yeah, it's a good advantage to have you in for those kind of issue and recon. So now let's talk about the new era and organization you are taking part of for 2027 and the years after this. The big announcement. Let's talk about the news. How did this transition happen? Walk us through the discussion with Gerard and the Classmark team. So, what made you want to take on the massive responsibility of becoming a race director while still being deeply rooted in the racing scene? Because it's a life choice basically.
Yeah, of course, a life choice. Like I said, 40 years old, what I have to do. I am still gonna continue to race. Let's make that clear. I think also racing for myself gives me a very good connection on racing other races, what's going on, what does the riders say. Still have respect from somehow if you are racing side by side, and next week he has to tell you that you have to follow the rules. There's more respect. So I think it gives a good value that I also still racing. But yeah, basically, I spoke with Gerard. I know him for some years. He knows my background. I know his background from the early days when we did mountain bike races together. And they from one came the other, and he said, "Hey, Hans, maybe we can have a talk because I want to make a step back. I want to be a bit more relaxed, and I really value your input you have as a racer. You always been very clear with me. We communicate very well." And I was like, "Yeah, well, this gives me finally the chance to give back in the sport, and I hope I can do very well and bring the rider's perspective into to Classmark to have a more close view on exactly what's going on course, and that so also that the organization part understand better how it is to do everything at full speed with a heart rate 190 and lactate to very high. So I think we are on a good path, and I hope we can see the results already next year and in the Traka and Santaval.
So people hear race director, but often don't know what it entails day to day. Even if it's really fresh for you, what are your operational responsibility for the Traka and Santaval, the Classmark for sure, because you are part of it right now. So moving forward, what you will really work on day to day basis.
Well, the main responsibility is like the racing part, the really racing part. So it's defining the pro category. I will double check the course, like I said, the safety matters to communicate closely. Regulations I need to double check. We have to define starting boxes, this kind of things, rules. Then end of the day, we have to make maybe some decisions if something didn't went. And I think it's very important to have everything clear before the race, and I hope then my job is going to be quite easy. Also, I think more on the day, it's very important to communicate very well, giving the briefings, having contact with team managers, in contact, asking for feedback, not only from the pro riders. I'm really open for everybody that have thoughts or have ideas for Traka. I'm really open for this. Sorry if it's a long story, because I want to make myself very clear. For me, racing the Traka, I see my team, then I see the start line, then I do the course, and then I see the finish, and then I'm gone. And I don't see the feed zones. For example, we take the bottles and we go. So last week, I really took my time to understand how the feed zone works, where the people park the bike. So also, if people have feedback for this kind of stuff that's a little bit outside my stuff, I'm really open for it. I really value the feedback, and also from the first till the last rider, we all want to have an amazing day out there. That's going to be my job. I try to connect all the dots. I want a fair race because I'm one guy that's very committed to strict rules and follow the rules and respect each other. So that's what I'm really hoping for. Day by day, it's having a lot of contact with the team, try to adjust, looking for to make it more safe, working on a very fair system to have the pro category defined, so everything is clear for the riders, and we can have an amazing day. That's basically the job. And it's not very different than the job that I had before as a pro rider. It's the same thing. You need to do a million things correctly, good way, day by day. And when race day comes, have an amazing day and everything is gonna enjoy. Being a pro athlete is eating well, is going to all these kind of things. And with organization is the same thing. We need to have every corner is covered. We have to be ready, confident on the day. So that's gonna be my job. That's like I said, is new for me, and I feel the responsibility. What I also see from Plasmark the last years is that with all the feedback and everything that's going on and how far we grow and also all the positive things, it's a lot to handle. But every year we step up, and every year it's growing, and everybody can be incredible proud.
So, looking ahead to 2027, you are introducing a unique 300K format, which will be the one and only for the elite, the pro category. So, why 300, especially when you had the 200 and 360 that has been changed last year, reduced a bit in terms of length? And how do you think this could change race dynamic, pacing, and type of riders who could dominate the event?
The big question is that actually is also something that I was worried. Like when I entered last year for the Traka, the team asked me, Hans, you gonna do the 320 or the 200? I don't have the big engine for 10 hours, so I always choose the 200. People say just 200, but still 200 it's a very big ride. But the most important thing that we really want as the Traka, that after an amazing weekend, we can say in the evening, okay, this guy or this woman, they are the true Traka champions. Lucas, who won the 200 last year, and Mats that won the 320, they're both for me like champions, and it's gonna be more cool, in my opinion, to have one champion over the weekend, and also the pros can focus on in the winter on the training. It's more clear for everybody, and that's exactly what we are going to. We want everything to have everything clear on forehand, so there's no discussion like who's going to be the tour champion, and that's why they decided also to put the focus on 300. And we also can connect that with safety um, to have everything 100% safe on the limit. 300, 200, and 100, it's a lot of work. And that's why also for the pros, also with the drafting, with the media, if we have one race and put more attention, more time to make that one perfect, also the coverage, the media, the importance for the team. So that's why we think it's better to focus on one distance. I hope we're right.
And do you think it could change? For example, the people who were challenging for the top spot on the 200 could still be racing for the top ones on the 300, or do you think it will maybe favor one kind of racer who can go for longer efforts?
Yeah, for example, yeah, I think it will change it. But also it gives the riders maybe more motivation to change. But at the end of the day, if you can go fast for 200 kilometer, you can also go fast for 300 kilometer if you manage well. So there's also, for me, I think as a rider again, then not as a race director, I think you can train till races of 4 hours. You can really affect that. But after 4 hours, it's just yeah, you have to have your base right. So then if you do well for 6 hours, you're also gonna do well for 10 hours. I think if you put all the winners in the mix from the 200 with the 300, the result end of the day, it's gonna not maybe gonna be exact the same, but it's gonna be more or less the same.
Okay, and part of this decision was also within the news to stop the ultra format that was new in 2026 and it will be discontinued for the next year. What drove the decision to stop the ultra distance? Was it purely a logistical nightmare? Because we know that organizing this course of this length is really complicated for all reasons we already talked about, or it was maybe a shift in the gravel philosophy that you had?
Well, for canceling the 560, a lot of rumors. First of all, I think an event as this is something that we really value in Classmark. It's something ultras we really like to see. It's super excited to follow the dot watching, and it's I really love to see ultra races, also the organization. But uh, we cannot, just because of legal issues, we cannot have people riding in the night if the group is too big. Like if you are starting organizer, you can risk something. As we are at the moment where we are legally, we cannot make it work that we can guarantee safety and having a fair race. It really has nothing to do with budgets or the rumors that going on. legally we cannot have people, a big group of people riding to the night in the area where we are, which is on a lot of pressure from the government, and it's a really beautiful area but very sensitive. And if we would continue on a different way, or pushing the edges, then maybe in next year we won't have a tracker. So at some point, if we cannot make it legally safe, even if we really want to organize, because it's really cool to see, like I said, it's really it gives a lot of value to the Traka. We explored a lot of different routes to make it legally possible. We still explore, but at the moment we cannot do it, and we hope in the future, if we find a way, for sure we're gonna jump on it and have another ultra in Girona. But at the moment we legally we can't not, and that's really a shame. Also, not only for the ultra riders, for the people that like it, but also for us.
So there's still some possibilities to see an ultra race coming for 2028, for example, or it's something that you push aside and you don't really know for now.
No, if it's up, we really like it, and we keep checking like the legal producers if it's gonna be possible. But yeah, I think it's this kind of races. It's the DNA of Gerard, of Klasmark, and it's hard, it's rough, it's extreme. So I think we're up, but it has to be legally, like it has to be responsible, and we can't at the moment, and we won't do anything that's not responsible.
Okay. And another new things that is happening around the Traka is the priority access system. So it's something that we've seen happening also on the trail running series, for example, with the UTMB and some series like this. So the system is a rollout for registration across the Traka 100, 200, and 300. So could you tell us a bit more of how this new hierarchy work and who gets the priority? Why did the organization feel this was necessary?
Loyalty, basically the question. If I don't know exactly which qualifications there are to have the priority, but I think it's from other races before. But if people come to our events and they want to have a spot, we just open a window before normal registration open to welcome them back, and it's a system that I think it's very respectful to people that come before, and give them a chance to enter. But it's also, again, things are going so fast and registrations are going so fast. Yeah, that's basically the priority access registration, that you can, like, a little extra for the people that are like coming back every year, and I think it's
Okay, so the thing behind this is to reward people that are coming back to one of your events, because also there are a lot of people who want to do the race. So it's also a way to be able to select without having to ask for points or whatever, some time that we've seen on other sports. So for you, it's something fair for the races.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And to be sure, we have like the priority access that just for the normal race, but we also have now, I don't know if you mean that it's for the pro application, for the pro program. That's a two different story.
Okay, so is it different?
Yeah.
Do you have more info on this? Can you explain us for the elite how it works?
What we really want to make sure is that we are making the pro category, and until now, everybody can register for the pro category, and we've seen that the numbers are getting really big, and we really want to secure elite group of riders. It's a very delicate and difficult topic to define who is pro and who is not, but we want to make it separate, because it gives more value to the event, I guess. More also safety matters. There's something that comes into play. But at the moment we're working on it. We have a system that we can, from last year, that you qualify. We're gonna open the registrations for the pro soon. And before we open, we will have a very clear standard. Like if you do this or this or this, then you're qualified, and if not, sorry. And we have also wild cards to, you never know who wants to show up at Traka, and to have a fair. The most important for me is to have something really fair here, that everybody has a chance. So not only that race last year, but maybe a young upcoming talent wants to come to race. So roughly the idea is to have, we have to confirm that, but the idea we're discussing now is that, for example, for Santa Val, everybody can register, and if you are within the 5% of the time of the winner, you're gonna qualify in the three stages. So, for example, I introduced the time trial in Santa Val the first day, but you have a flat tire. Okay, I give you another chance. and the third day another chance. So it's not like, I think it's fair. And also we have more qualification races before. Uh, I think it's super difficult to define like who's pro, and I think maybe it's going to be the hardest part of my job is to let people down. But I think if we really make the group not super small, but we really make the premium racing, it's gonna be at the end of the day, it's gonna be work better for us, for the riders, for the pros, for the sponsors. So that's why we're working toward that. But yeah, it's super difficult to put some regulation on. It's gonna be super easy to put some regulation online, and people have to sort it out. But I really want to make myself strong for being super fair and having it super clear before people start. So riders need to buy their flights. They need to see where they go to invest their money. So we can also not wait for 1 month before. So also I try to have my racer side experience with this kind of things, and I also don't like that race of that rules change 1 week before and he can start and I couldn't. So um, I just want to be. We're working on it, and it's almost finished. So soon there will be everything will be online how it works exactly. But uh, yeah, it's one of the biggest issues where we're thinking about at the moment.
So what we can say is that there will be rules to be able to qualify as a pro, but you will also check it out as a human. Sometimes if something happen, you will be able to have the ability to say, okay, we requalify because you had a mechanical or you had a flat tire or you need to do another race. But it will not be like only strict rules, and if you are out.
Well, that's a difficult one because then after the end of the day, maybe people will say, "Yeah, but he's your friend, and you cut me off and in the race, so that's why you don't like me." And so we want to make it super clear, and then also we're gonna apply the rules for everybody, but we're gonna make sure that the rules are fair. So like I said, if you have the first day a flat tire in Santaval, we give you another chance. And then also if you, for example, you live in Namibia, you don't have the chance to come in February, you can still apply by a form, and then we're gonna just ask some simple questions of what were your results last year, and then we're still gonna evaluate it, and then we're gonna say, okay, we want you at the start line or try to qualify.
Okay. And about the races, probably we will talk later about the prize money rumors and so on, about the race regulation and the race direction. Do you have any other things that you will change or amend for the next year?
We had some small changes with cameras and stuff that's not allowed to be, I guess also in the pro category. I think if you are racing in the pro category racing, you cannot make videos. I think that is another category. Without being mean to anybody doing anything, but it's just this is my point of view. And then for the rest, again, I really want. There's no big changes, sure, but I really want to focus on fairness and openness to all the riders.
Now, are you working also on the schedule of the starting block? Because we've seen last year, I actually don't know if it was a mistake from someone or it was scheduled like this, but on the 200, for example, the women elite group started after age group and age group, and it was kind of an issue because after you cannot really stop everybody and let pass the women, so it's really tricky to manage once it's
Exactly.
the start happens. It's almost impossible. And it's really tricky and dangerous, could be. So, are you working also on this to, let's say, be more organized and fair to everybody?
Yeah.
Because also it was like you could have entered the start line first and be on the front, but after you have riders who arrive later. So it's really tricky. You need to have a lot of rules and really structured the way it is organized, but you still have somebody on site who can check
Yeah.
this out.
Yeah.
So are you thinking about this too?
Yeah, for sure. After I have make my list of things that I really want to put effort and time in. So now it's the the fairness for the pro athletes. Then for sure the start box is the next topic. Manage 5,000 people, it's difficult. Also, I think if everybody's respectful, you don't have this issue. I think, but that's something. It's utopia. Everybody wants that. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna put effort, and then also we will have a meeting soon where we discuss all the problems we had, or if we had problems last year with the starting boxes to find a way to solve that. So yeah, for sure we're gonna look into that, and we're gonna. If I have information from my side of racing, I will try to make it optimal. But it's difficult also to not to defend or not but to send everybody on their way on the place. It's a very tricky thing.
Yeah, it's a hard task to manage. So let's go now on more on the business of gravel and the future of the gravel series. because it's also a big topic. There are rumors floating around regarding prize money for the 2027 Traka classification. For elite riders, we're building commercial strategy across both European and US series. It's really important because it's a direct financial ROI from the races, the results you are doing. So it's becoming a huge factor also because you have bonuses and so on the partnership side. So can you confirm if this prize money is happening or you are still working on it? Maybe it's not, it's just a rumor and nothing will happen.
No, if you check the regulations, there is already on the Traka regulation, there is a sign that there will be financial prizes, or there will be prize money. I cannot confirm everything 100%, but I know where we're working towards, and we are very close. And I think every pro athlete's gonna be very happy. But at
Okay.
the moment, I cannot confirm. And our idea, the vision of Gerard is to have like around 5, 6 events where we have really a really good live stream, that sponsors are happy, that people can watch at home, that people are seeing the race worldwide, and also that there is just a nice amount of prize money. So it's also for the elites, it's going to be worth it to go all of them. But like I said, the big bag of money and make everybody happy is also, it takes some time. So, but it's our goal, and we understand that. Also, me as a pro athlete, if I would have won Traka last week and I get the trophy, which is very nice, and then it would be nice to also have something financial. But it's something also that as the sport is growing, we have to grow with it, and that's also a responsibility that we got on, and we're trying to manage it in a suitable way.
About this, if the prize money is confirmed, the prize money is confirmed, but the amount we don't know, and the structure of the prize money we will know soon, if I understand
Yes.
correctly. So it's for the tracker, but is this financial reward structure will be extended maybe to other individual races of the Graveler series, maybe the general classification, also the overall of the series, because the lifetime is doing great on this, and they attract focus of top riders because you have also this series which is rewarding at the end. I think other series, European series, need to compete on this topic because we have leverage also in Europe to have great race and great general classification with the riders doing all the races, not only the ones which are the most renowned. So is there something in the pipe about this?
Yeah, it's like we said, the Gravel Earth series. At the moment, we are evaluating it, and we are thinking. We have to decide what's gonna happen there in the future. Also, there we are trying to make some to finalize it. So there's a lot of things, like you said. Hans cannot give an answer to anything, but that nothing is confirmed. I cannot say things that I don't know about, or is not
For sure.
not under my control. Our mission is to have around like 5 or 6 races with the same amount of prize money, where we really can make the riders happy, the elite riders, and really also award them for the show they give to us. So yeah, that's really hope that we confirm that really fast. But it's like I said, it's like something I cannot tell you, but it's our mission and it's our goal. And once we have it in our head and we are stuck on it, and we also understand very clearly that how fast we grow and how important races also Santa Val or Rancho or Gravel Desert became, that we cannot send the riders home with just a trophy.
Yeah, so that's good to know that you are working on it and thinking about this because it could happen at some point. And yeah, I'm pretty confident it will happen. We don't know the structure and the amount, but it's really nice to know that you are working on it to structure the gravel pro segment as it should be because it's evolving really fast. So we need
Yeah.
this. So let's talk about the current model of the gravel calendar, which is currently split between the US model, the UCI, Gravel World Series, Gravel Series, and also some independent races like the Reef, which is renowned and could bring you a lot of joy and financial value if you win it. So yeah, we've seen a massive shift the past 2 years on the Graveler Series calendar. At some point, growing with a lot of races, and after dealing with the issue of the calendar and having to cancel some of them, so we've seen, as I say, iconic races like the Reef leaving the GES umbrella. So from your new organizational standpoint, what is the future of the Graveler Series and where do you want to drive it?
Well, a lot of things happened in the past that I was still racing my bike. I have absolutely no idea of. But also, I'm not gonna say anything about what happened in the past. But I think we have to go over quality over quantity. I think gravel is such a fast-growing sport. UCI is jumping on it on their way. Then there are ultra races getting really big into it. There are other series now. The state races are coming up with multiply days. There's no really. If you tell me, Hans, what is a cross-country mountain bike race? It's 1.5 hour on circuits, between 1 hour 15 and 1 hour 30, and that's it. But Hans, what is an official gravel race? Well, it can be unbound. It can also be a Monaco gravel with 120 kilometer and you finish under 4 hours. So there's not really a defined thing to go on gravel. Going back to Classmark, what we said, we really want to have like around 5 or 6 races where we can really put the prize money on the table, put live coverage on the table, where we can give really a strong platform for the pro riders. And also, we're not gonna forget about everybody else because we really want to have just an amazing day out on the bike. That's always the basic where we start from the first to the last riders and just having a safe and fair race. And yeah, that's it. I think if you want to go in Spain, we are very close to go to Mexico next year as well. So also again, not 100% confirmed, but it's where we want to go. And if we want to go somewhere, or Gerard, if Gerard wants to go somewhere, he bite his teeth in it, and it's most likely gonna happen. Yeah, that. I think that's where we go. I think it's the general message is like we want to go for quality over quantity. Also, then we can put our focus and also we have limited resources with people who can manage, of course. So we really want to put more quality, give more value for the pro riders, give a more enjoyable day for everybody. I really that's how I stepped in with this mindset, what they had at Glassmark, and I really joined.
Okay, so the idea is to work on the races which are already under the GS umbrella, maybe have few, but really work on the execution of those races and the ability to deliver a great event for everybody, whether it's pro athletes or age groupers from any level, and to focus on how you are achieving this rather than populating the calendar with a lot of races everywhere in the world and being a bit lost.
Yeah. And also, what I personally really would like is that if people come to a Glassmark event, they really feel the DNA that we have, the things that we do. We don't have to separate, or we don't have to be. We just want to have our own style. Like if people go to a Glassmark event, so yes, there was a proper Glassmark day, nice route, challenging. End of the day, we had a fair fight. It was brutal, but I really enjoyed it. I think that's where we really want to go.
Okay, cool. And so let's go back on yourself now. You have kind of a dual identity now. You are race director of Traka and Santaval, working for Classmark, but you are still, as you mentioned, a pro racer, and you will still be. So looking at your own future, do you see yourself continuing to fight for the front of the peloton on the MTB gravel segment for the years to come, or this new role will take you a lot of time and energy and you will just ride for the pleasure?
For Santaval and Traka, we have the start line.
For sure.
That's a shame. For example, this morning we are checking the time trial out, and we need to make some content, see some parts of the course. So I can really combine the job very well. And like I said, I think it gives also for Classmark a lot of value that I'm still racing. I think at some point it's going to be so much, and the week before the Traka, I probably won't be able to ride my bike, some social event or anything. But also, I'm 40 years old, and at some point it's gonna go less. But I still have my goals. I have many races. I love to go to Kenya for migration race. I want to do like other races that I still want to do, and I also can. I think I still can be fast, and I don't think the bike for me is something that I can shift, like I can process everything that happens in my mind. And if I have to deal with many things in my head, I think the bike will be my therapy, and I will really need it. And if I just train a bit like structured and I continue being healthy, I think I can still race. That's my plan.
So on the sportive side, what are your goals for 2027? Do you already have some, or you are still thinking about this?
Yeah, my DNA is always mountain bike. Like I really love mountain bike stage races, like races like Cape Epic, although they've now come directly in the middle of Santaval and Traka. It will be difficult, but yeah, there are so many beautiful races, and I think next year I also at the point that I'm not that interested anymore. Of course, I'm interested in becoming world champion, but I know I'm not going to be any more world champion. So it also gives me opportunity to travel to another side of the world that I don't see, go to different races that I still don't do. I don't put any pressure on myself again to have results, but I just want to And if I go fast, I would be very happy. And if I go a little bit less fast, I'm also gonna be happy. I just want to continue trying to get the best out of myself. And like I said, the parallel with organizing an event like Traka and the parallel of um, working towards important race, it's basically the same. You lock in, you focus, you try to do everything right. Then the race day, yeah, it just has to happen.
And what could we wish you for 2027 on both sides? So, as the new Traka and Santa Val race director, and also on the mountain bike gravel athlete side.
The athlete side would be funny if I do some other races with the people that are racing Traka and they say, "Oh shit, this race director he's dropping me in the climb. Not this is not cool." So I really wish to like I don't have much to prove. It sounds maybe a bit arrogant or I don't know how to say it, but I don't have much to prove anymore in for myself and for the people outside. I just want to continue being a good person, having fun, enjoying my bike in races, push myself. So as long as I can do that way that I'm happy with the results and I can put the work in and everything is in balance, I'm happy. And then for the race director job, people pass the finish line tell me, Hans, today was first of all brutally hard because we like to challenge people. This is when we push. But also, I would really like that people say, I did it today. I feel everything was fair. I feel safe on the bike. The route is beautiful. If people would tell me that, I would be super happy. There's a lot of work going in, and that's also our goal. Organizing races, being a racer, I also start to understand more that we live in like a small microclimate. Races need organizations need sponsors need riders. We give what we get. If everybody like it sounds maybe a little positive hallelujah story, but at the end of the day, it's like this. If everybody does the job right and this chain don't get broken, we're all gonna have an amazing day, and you can wish me that.
Great. So also we've understood that new updates will come out in the coming weeks or months. And so where can people follow the update for the Tracker and the Graveler series? Because at some point it's always changing to find the good info that is
Yep.
verified at the good moment, and it's really important when you are working on the schedule for next year. Also with the all the system that you are putting in place to be able to do the Tracker.
Yeah.
Will be more difficult in the coming years
Exactly.
than before. So where can people follow this?
Yeah, you can just follow always the official websites and our official social media channels like Instagram. Just believe that and everything else that's been said. It's like I think if you just follow everything on the website, everything is very clear. And I'm happy open to have another chat in the future when I have more, or when we or after Santa Val, or if we can if we have more feedback. And again, encourage really the people out there that please, if you have something burning question or something that's not clear, just text me or just like I'm here to connect all the dots again and have for everybody an amazing day.
So great! It's really cool to know that you are entering the structure of the sport, the ecosystem now with Classmark and those races, because I think there's a lot to do. The sport is growing really fast and has grown really fast, but there's still a lot of improvement. And having your point of view from somebody who raced so long ago, who have this provide the mindset, it will changing and allow also the organization to make improvement and to go in the right direction. So that's really great. Great news. I was happy as a pro athlete manager to see you on this. And yeah, I heard a lot of good things. And people also expect some changes now that you are in the organization. So it's always something
The
that
pressure.
you need to pressure. But it's good pressure, let's say.
Is it the same again as being a cyclist? If you train every week 20 hours, at some point you want to have a result. So the pressure we are used to it, and again, I hope really that people notice next year if they start like, hey, things happening, things are changing. Like I can promise you that I do what I can, and that's all we can do. Let's hope it goes the good way.
So thanks a lot, Hans. It was a great chat and great explanation also on what's coming and what have been done. Yeah, we can talk again after the first races of next year to see if everything rolled out correctly and as you wanted. And I'm pretty sure there will be also changes during the year, things you experiment and you will go back on or develop, and that's the way to progress.
That's the way we develop and we learn and we take our lessons and we try to make it better.
So thanks a lot, Hans. It was a
Thank
great
you,
chat.
Evan. Ciao, ciao.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Gravel Paddock. If you want to stay ahead of the peloton, the best thing you can do right now is hit that subscribe or follow button. If you enjoyed the deep dive, please drop a 5-star rating and leave a comment. For more inside access between episodes, follow us on Instagram at the Gravel Paddock. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next episode. Ride hard.